It's been a very good moon, this last moon, this August moon. Not a positive moon, not a negative moon, but an open moon. There are things brimming, things beginning to come to life. So anyway, it's a good time in this coming to life to raise some clear questions. You don't have to think of the questions will come instinctively, automatically. So if you have any questions, please ask. A particular topic that you think needs to be addressed as this moon allows this open need to converse and listen and share. Anyway, enough of this advertising. What to say? Buddha comes to the forefront. See, Buddha is balance. That's the whole nature of Buddha. The whole nature of Buddha is balance, contentment, peace. No overwhelming bliss. No intense suffering and depression. No ultimate joy and nirvana states. No solitude and lonely and feeling insecure. In the middle. In the middle. You see, the whole misinterpretation by this ego mind is the middle. It cannot abide the middle. The ego cannot abide the middle. We're not speaking human states of middle class. I'm quite content because I have this and I don't have to worry about that. These are reflections and ideas of trying to convince your true self that everything's okay. And the moment someone speaks about this beautiful, beautiful island they visited, and it costs 5,000 euros each, and you're in the middle and you say, oh, I wish I could afford that. I'm in the middle. I can afford 3.5. And you start thinking about how to get that other 1.5 for that. I feel as though I've missed something. Contentment is much deeper, much profound than that. Ego says the middle's boredom. I don't want to look for a challenge. I don't want to look for something exciting and inspiring. I don't want to be it. Do the stuff that I have to do, like go to work or go to visit these people that I don't particularly like visiting. I don't want to do that either. I just want to sit at home and just enjoy the view. And ego allows that for about 5 minutes and says, oh, I'll appeal through a thought. I don't like this. I'm uncomfortable with this, says ego. I'll give him this thought. I'm getting bored. You're gone. You're gone searching and seeking and looking, and you've left that simple view, that moment, that presence, that opportunity that God was going to come and speak to you. But ego's always pulling you to the side. Ego says, if I can't see God, then you can't see God. That's the deal. Most people most egos speak about, because it's ego that speaks, not really ego, purely. You know, when ego speaks, it's all about I, me, I, yes, I, and I want. And you listen to another one's story, and you're thinking about what you did and what your interpretation or your version of beating that story, or coming close to that story, or equaling that story, or confirming that story. I love my ego. That's ego speaking about itself. I love my ego. It's always giving me something to do. It's always giving me somewhere to go, somewhere to see. It's always telling me how good a person I am. That's ego. Isn't that what we call ego? Self-centered. Look at me. The misinterpretation is you have to think that we think that someone else has to say that you're a good guy. And that's not ego. It's your ego that accepts it. I don't go about spouting about myself. I don't. I really don't. I just do what I have to do. And someone says, no, you are a superior being. You are great. You are wonderful. You have so much to give and so much money, and you have wealth and your success, and we're inspired by you. And you go, yeah, well, okay. Individuality, I. Me and you and I. He spoke about me, I spoke about them. When we all come together as a team, we work collectively. Everything is in reverse. Collectively is the team separating itself as individuals. That's the opposing state of ego. But Buddha itself is not opposing ego. It's not opposing ego. It's not saying ego, individual, I, me, person, story on this side, and pure me, I, wondrous, saintly, tranquil, profound, empty, lovingness, being on this side. Buddha is saying, no, neither. Neither. These are the foods of ego. Ego is on both sides. Ego says it's a saint to itself. The speaker remembers when this nights and days in the forest, never read about the Bible or Christ or any books of any intelligence, as they would call it. Just a comic man, atheist comic man, getting on with life. And after it spent 40 days, 40 nights, maybe more, I don't know, I wasn't counting, I was not there. There's no you that's there. And this feeling of nirvana, this enlightenment, this voice of God, and this why me, this choosing, this disappearance, this moment, this wisdom, this explanation about what is going on, what's taking place, that cannot be repeated accurately, because the mind cannot. It's like the shadow in the body. The shadow cannot reflect you accurately. You won't see eyes on the ground. You won't see a nose, but you'll see a clear reflection of that's me. So this experience, when it was confirmed by this wisdom, and Christ actually, this spirit actually entered within, you feel ego comes in and says, you're very close to Christ. Wow, you could be Christ's brother, you could be Christ's son. You're something special. And in your profound bliss of spatial, infinite buoyancy that you are. You cannot find the end of you. You look, you touch here, there's no sensation. You touch here, there's no sensation. There's the sensation. I can't reach the sensation. The sensation is, I don't find it. It's infinite. It's going. I don't know how far I stretch. I'm in love with life. I'm in love with this. This I is in love with God, with spirit, with humanity, with you become. And you start spouting like this Christ. But at no point did you make comparisons. It was far too beautiful to make comparisons. But ego comes in and says, "Yeah, you could be the new Christ." Yeah, that's ego's job, to take ownership of all experiences. Ego points at you as if you can experience life. Truth is the experience, and somewhere within it there may be a sensation or an essence of you. That's the difference between being enlightened or enlightened being and being human or human being. There's you in the world, there's this ego. There's truth. There is only that what this is. It is nameless. On this discovery of both of these sides, if you surrender, if that what you are surrenders and says, okay, I maybe appear to be on this joyful, Satchitananda, blissful side, but I know I cannot keep it because I was not able to keep this side. I made no decisions to go to this side. Something entered, something took ownership, something was responsible. So I know I can't keep this side. This side will not be permanent either. So where can I go? And you just wait. And it's like anything else. If you throw a stone on the still, placid lake, it creates ripples. Small ripples and large ripples. And the ripples are not only on the surface, they're underneath. They're on both sides. And when the ripples start to slow down and fade, what takes place is the lake becomes still again. And stillness is contentment, is that placid feeling of everything is just as it is. Buddha nature. So who threw the stone in the first place? Why not leave the still lake? You were born as the still lake in this body. Ego threw itself a stone and said, come on, wake up. Let's get going. We've got so many things to do. And of course the still lake has no choice in the matter. But it knows it's bigger than ego. The ego is just a pebble. The still lake is the whole lake. The wave is the ego. The ocean that the wave is never separate from is the truth. So consciousness is the truth. Bubbles of consciousness, bubbles of body, bubbles of atoms and molecules are the pebbles. Which one are you? Are you the body? Are you the pebble? Are you that bubble of consciousness that will pop and go? Or are you the consciousness that's within, that is enduring love, infinite, limitless, boundless, pure, and tranquil stillness? The pebble is movement. We like the pebble. This is the pebble moving now within the lake. Why take away the pebble? That's not what it's about, taking away the pebble. It's just a realization and a resurgence and I need to go home for a moment just to reassure that I'm not simply a pebble. floating in the air. Enlightenment is all about taking a step back and going back into yourself and looking within the still lake as the stillness. And when you're ready, this consciousness will say, right, okay, outward again. And the pebble still exists. It's just a moment of memory, a moment of, memory is not a good word because it's not a memory. Memory is a different thing altogether. It's a moment of reconnecting with God, with yourself, whatever you want to call it, with consciousness, with Mother, with Spirit, with that what you truly are and can never not truly be. So when you return as this pebble, you want to keep the lake as still as possible. So you just throw a tiny little pebble in, so that Buddha, yeah, well, I like that. I don't like this, and I don't like this. I like this. Muji calls it the kiss within. Buddha calls it balance, contentment. The speaker calls it one moment. One little, infinite, tiny moment.